Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Hey guys.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Christina and this is the Beauty Rookie. And this is August. Say hi.
Hi.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Christina and this is the Beauty Rookie. And today's video is a continuation of my Makeup Bag Monday series. Makeup Bag Monday is a new series that I just started, inspired by Serene Wu here on YouTube. If you don't follow her, you should. But basically what we do is we pick a bunch of products and I stick to them the entire week, give them a really fair shot, and then the following Monday I give you a full review on the products that I used and pick new ones. So today's week 2, so we're going to go into the products that I picked last week and then pick new ones together. This week I was testing out 2 different foundations. I was testing out the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk and the Wet n Wild Cushion Foundation. And I have thoughts on both. So this one is new to me and this one's an old favorite. And I just wanted to see if I still love Giorgio Armani and how I would like this one. So the Wet n Wild Cushion Foundation. At first, I really didn't like it. It was clinging onto my dry patches. I didn't really like how it applied with a brush or the sponge that was provided, even though I usually do like the sponges that are provided in these. I was just not feeling it. The coverage is light to medium. It is a very natural looking finish. It's very dewy and hydrating, but at the same time, it clung to texture. So I wasn't really loving it. But then what I did is I exfoliated my skin really well in the morning and I applied a very hydrating primer. I was also testing out the Hourglass number 28 primer, and this one under this actually worked really well together. It created a really smooth canvas. If you have a face oil, you could do that too, and then this applied wonderfully. I liked this with my beauty sponge. I used the Flower Beauty all week and it went on beautifully. I had a lot of compliments on my skin looking really healthy and natural. I didn't really look like I was wearing makeup, so that was nice. It doesn't really cover all the redness that you might need to cover up because it is so lightweight, and you don't want to keep caking it on because then it just doesn't quite build up as well as you might want it to. So if you have a lot of redness, I would probably do some color correcting first with something hydrating and then go in with this. The shade that I'm wearing is Light Ivory, which is described as a light neutral. I feel like it's a perfect match for me, actually, for my neck. I wore it in all the videos since Makeup Bag Monday. The shade range is kind of abysmal. When I was there, they only had 2 shades out. On the website, they do have more shades, but it's still not a full range, and I just don't think that you'd be able to find your match. This is actually the fairest they had available, and there's people fairer than me. I know I am pretty light, but so shade range, it needs a little work. Anyone else really tired of people saying, oh, we're trying to test the waters and then put out more? How can a product be successful if people can't buy it? I'm not sure. Another thing to note about this is that for someone like me with combination skin, I get very dry on my forehead. That's where I show the most texture, but then I get oily on my nose and my cheeks. This got super greasy about hour 4. It doesn't break up where you need to go wash your entire face off. It's more that you get very shiny. I actually like looking shiny and greasy, so to me it's not that big of a deal. I just think that looks more like healthy and glowy and younger, and I'm 34 and I'll take the glow where I can get it. But I will say, if you're very oily, this is definitely not for you. If you like a matte foundation, this is not for you. Pretty much any cushion foundation is going to be that way though. The scent though. Why do people keep putting scents in foundation? I do not understand it. I don't like the scent in this at all. It's nice. It's like a very clean and soapy kind of scent, but it gives me a headache. And it does eventually wear off, but every once in a while I do get like a little lingering scent. So it is not my favorite thing. And if you don't like scents, you probably won't like that either. But other than that, I do give it a thumbs up. I would say B+ for this one. The Giorgio Armani, do I still love it? Yes, yes I do. But I don't love it like I used to love it on its own. So the finish is gorgeous. It's a demi matte. It's not as luminous as you would think. It gets more luminous throughout the day, but actually I found the cushion to be more luminous. But it's almost like a satin with a little bit of a sheen, but it's not going to give you like a wet look to your face or anything. It's not that glowy. The coverage is medium to full depending on how you build it. I find that it builds really well. It doesn't cling to texture. It's forgiving on dry skin and dry patches. You do always want to exfoliate before you use most foundations, but I still love this baby. Now the shade was a little off for me, so I didn't wear it as much as I wish I could have, but this is such a good foundation to mix with other foundations. If you mix a matte foundation with this, it gives you the most beautiful finish. I love it. It's disgustingly dirty, so don't judge me, but let me show you how it goes on. So there you go right there. It's a little bit of a thicker consistency for a luminous foundation. Usually luminous foundations are going to be a little bit more on the runny side. This is not the case. I know I always say it gives a natural finish, but it really does. It just looks like your skin, but better. It's a great foundation. I highly recommend it. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. It's a cult favorite for a reason, guys. It's really good. Let's talk about the primer that I use, the Hourglass number 28 primer. I really love this so much more than I thought I did. I even like it on no makeup days, on bare skin, because it's just so nourishing. It just like soaks into your skin and leaves such a smooth canvas, and it's just so hydrating and so calming and beautiful. I didn't find that it clogged my pores, but I did speak to the Hourglass rep at Nordstrom, and she said that Hourglass never states that any products are hypoallergenic, because that's kind of a made-up thing. You can't really cover everyone in the entire world and say, you won't be allergic to this, because that's just not how things work. So because this has essential oils, I would recommend that you get a sample before you buy it, because you may have a reaction to it. She did say that she's never had anyone return it. This will not, in my opinion, prolong the longevity of your foundation whatsoever. In fact, it might make you greasier a little bit sooner. It just gives such a dewy finish. So I would not recommend this if you're oily, unless you just really like something hydrating and you want to look like a little dewy dumpling, then sure. But I really love this, and I think it would look awesome under a matte foundation. The next items I want to go over are the Milani eyeshadow palettes. You guys seemed really excited about these, and I am excited about these. These were a great hit, but they're not created equal, and there are some pluses and minuses. I'm going to insert some swatches in natural daylight. Those are built up swatches, and even then you can see some of the shades can be a little crumbly or a little bit patchy. So let's go into what I liked and what I didn't like, okay? These retail for about $19 if you buy from the Milani website or Ulta. I don't think they are necessarily worth $20 to get both. If you're gonna get both, I would go to Walmart, get them for $15, and then I think they're a great value. But when you're spending $40 on two, I don't know. I'm on the fence about that. $30 for two of these, I think it's a great value, especially if you're looking for something at the drugstore. I definitely 100% prefer Bold Obsessions to the Most Loved Mattes. This one is the Bold Obsessions right there. The reason I love this one is because I found these shades to be incredibly consistent with each other. There's no real duds in this palette. The black is not the blackest black you've ever had in your life, but these are buildable, rich shades that blend beautifully. They have a great texture. I find the texture to be incredibly similar to the Tarte shadows. If you like Tarte shadows, how they're a little bit soft, almost borderline like they're gonna be chalky, but they're not chalky, these are it right here. They are wonderful on the eyes. You do have to prime your lids first for them to stay. I specifically love this palette because I find that it works super well together. I find this is all I need for daytime or nighttime. The shimmers are beautiful. I used this shade a lot right there. My inner corner or all over the lid on a natural eye look day. I love these two shades mixed together as a transition color. I found this to be the perfect shadow to deepen any look. The black is buildable and pretty rich and smooth. This blue one doesn't have as much metallic reflex as I want, like on the eye. I feel like when you start working it into the eye, it kind of turns more into a matte. It doesn't really look that shimmery. But with Fix Plus, I do find that I do get a little bit of a like duochrome type of feeling from that shade. So this one gets a thumbs up for me. I absolutely love it, and I think it's definitely worth $14.99. It's better than some high-end palettes. I'm just gonna put that out there. As far as the most loved mattes, I do think this is a great palette if you don't have any other mattes, but if you are trying to choose between this one and that one, I just think the Bold Obsessions is more versatile because it has so much more. But if you're a mattes girl, you can't go wrong with this. I do find that the richer shades, like the deep eggplant and the deep orange, they take a little bit more work to intensify. The pigment is there, don't get me wrong, but as you're blending, they do sort of kind of dust off into nothing. If you're familiar with Lorac shadows, they can be like that. So I suggest just working little by little and then just build up the color, and then you have no problem whatsoever. These 4 shades right there are all very similar, and on somebody fair skinned, these are not gonna show up, or if they do, they're gonna just blend into your skin tone and look exactly the same. So that's kind of why I prefer the Bold Obsessions, because I feel like every single shade in there is not like another shade, and you will use every single one completely. With this one, you definitely can mix and match, and you know, if you can't afford like a Viseart mattes palette, this is a really good alternative. Is it as good? No, it's not. It's $14, and it is a little bit chalky / powdery, and some of the shades do take a little bit more work, but I find it to be on par with like a Tarte palette. And I like Tarte shadows, by the way. I really like Tarte shadows, but they're very similar. Now for my Charlotte Tilbury Filmstar Bronze and Glow, I still love it. I still love it. This bronzer is just perfect. On somebody with fair skin to fair to light skin, even medium, this color is just gorgeous. It gives you the most like, I just got back from Mexico kind of vibe. It's beautiful. First of all, it's a beautiful formula that just melts into your skin as you apply it and blend it. It does not fade. It lasts on my skin all day long, looks great. It just makes you look naturally sun-kissed. I just think it's one of the most perfect bronzers ever, and I don't know why. I just wasn't using it, but now it's back in rotation, and I'm gonna keep using it because I love it. As far as the highlight, I've definitely come around to thinking that it's just not my favorite. I do find it to be just slightly too powdery. It's a little bit too yellow for me. It doesn't match my skin tone. I think medium to deep would really be able to use that, but for me, and it's not very reflective, and I think now we're at the age of everyone wants like these blinding highlights or kind of a dewy highlight, and this doesn't do that for me. It's a little bit too powdery, and it kind of sits on the skin, and it's just not my favorite. The bronzer, it melts so easily that you kind of want that one to do the same thing, but it just doesn't. I'm not saying don't get it, but maybe look into the new one that she has. She made this exact duo, but instead of a highlight, you get a blush, and I think that might be an awesome alternative because her blushes are incredible. So this was a hit for me. I'll definitely be reaching for it again. Well, the Essence Moonlighter highlight. You guys, I mean, first of all, you guys on Instagram have been sending me messages, leaving me comments like you love this on me, and you're like, I need to get that right now. It really was as impressive to you guys as it was to me. Like, I'm really glad it translated on camera because I was blown away. The shine that this gives you is incredible. Like, you wouldn't be able to tell from this little cushion that so much glow came from it, but it just made my cheeks look so wet and dewy. Go watch the video or the Allure unboxing and see this in action, because I'm telling you, if you like to look dewy, you want this. And it's such a natural looking highlight. Even though it's so glowy and so blinding, it's natural. It looks like you are just a goddess and that's just your skin. It's incredible. I know it comes in 3 other shades, so if this shade, which is Glinting Buff, doesn't work for you, then I would check out the other ones. I know there's one like more rose gold. It's a wonderful formula, and I cannot believe I hadn't tried a cushion highlight before, and I'm addicted to it now. So that said, my Vanish highlight, I absolutely love it, but it just didn't get as much use as that one. I would say that the Hourglass is longer lasting than this. Anytime you have a dewy product, it's just not going to last on your skin as much as other. I did find that I got a solid 8 hours out of the cushion and it looked awesome, but it did start to lose, you know, the color and kind of melt into the skin and sort of disappear about hour 8. Also, to be noted that this layers beautifully even on top of a powder, so it's a very versatile product. This, same thing. It goes from like a cream, there you go. It goes from like a cream to a powder, and it's there to stay. This is way more long lasting. This will be there until you wash your face. I promise you that. And if you layer a powder highlight on top of this, you're set. Like, you will be set for days. I find the shade Champagne Flash to be incredibly flattering on my skin tone. I think it could look good on pretty much anyone, honestly. It doesn't have too much of a gold flash to it, so it doesn't pull yellow. It's natural, like I keep saying, as natural as a highlight can be. I do think you have to work a little bit quickly with this because it does dry down and it's there to stay. So I would suggest applying one section at a time, blending out, and then moving on to the next one. But I also really enjoyed using this on my lids and on the Cupid's bow and pretty much everywhere. I've also heard that you can use it under foundation and it's amazing, but I can't speak to that because I haven't tried it. Last 2 items, the Maybelline Fiber Volumizer. Okay, so I actually really did like it. It was very quick. It made my brows look really full. I could get a pretty good brow pretty quickly. But there are several things that I don't love about it. For one is this brush. It's kind of like a paddle brush. And I do think that if you have less brows than I do, which I have thick brows and I still found this to be just a little too big, like I kept going out of the lines, and I have big brows. If you have thin brows, this might be really hard to do. I did like how it pointed at the front so it could really get into the front of the brow, but you do have to be a little bit careful or you will get product on your face or your skin. Once it's on though, it stays on all day long. I do find the shade to pull a little bit on the gray side, and if you watched my last few videos, you can kind of see that my brows look a little bit gray, which I don't love that. So I might try the shade down, which seemed to be like a little bit of a warmer brown, and maybe use them together in combination and kind of give myself highlights or something. But I think it's a pretty solid brow product. I did see it volumizing. I did see it fill in some spots. Can I use it just completely on its own? I still like to go in with a brow powder or a pencil to fill in the bald spots because it's not going to completely fill those in. But it's got great hold, and for somebody that's kind of more in the rush, this is a great alternative. If you don't really have any bare spots but you just want them to look fuller, this is great. So it's not my favorite thing I've ever used in my life, but I will keep using it until it runs out. Last but not least, my Fenty Stunna lip paint. Oh my gosh, guys, I love this lipstick. I wore it the last video and you guys really liked it on me. Thank you for the sweet comments. This is the shade right here. It is the most perfect red. There is not, when they say that this is a universal red, they are not joking. It will make your teeth look white. It'll brighten your whole face. It looks stunning. Like, it's stunning on everyone. The applicator takes a little time getting used to because let me show you why. It is this kind of little nub, an hourglass nub, but actually once you get a hang of it, it's great. It just kind of hugs the curves and you can really get into the Cupid's bow the way it's shaped. I really like it. I do think that the formula though, you need to like the specific kind of formula. It is not a traditional liquid lipstick. It is not going to dry down and be kiss proof or anything like that. In fact, I would suggest you use a lip liner with it because it can get everywhere. It's also very hard to get incredibly precise on the lines. You can watch Alyssa Ashley's video on how she applies this, and like I'm never going to get to that level of expertise applying a liquid lipstick, like never. She's a goddess. But with a lip liner, I had great success with this, and it makes it a lot easier, and you can make it a little bit more kiss proof if you put a liner underneath. It semi-dries down. It's not like it will be all over your face, right? When you kiss, you will see a faint trace. It's not going to be all the lipstick. And as the day goes on, it does kind of settle down a little bit more and a little bit more, but it doesn't fully all the way dry down matte. It just does not. That said, that's what makes it so comfortable. And it's incredibly long wearing. Even after a meal, it still looks pretty good. So I think the pros outweigh the cons, and the color is so stunning that I think everyone should own it, and I cannot wait to see if she comes out with more shades because I really, really like it. So that was it for this week. Let's talk about what I've picked out for this coming week. You guys saw my ABH unboxing, and so I gotta do it, guys. I'm going to be trying out the Soft Glam palette all week. I'm going to be using the Amrezy highlight all week long, and the new bronzer in Rosewood right here, which I'm wearing today, and I love it. So these three products are gonna be in heavy rotation this week. I'm very excited, so I'll have a full review on them for you next week. Only other items that I'm going to try out are foundations, and I'm going to give this e.l.f. foundation a shot. It's $6 at the grocery store. I've used it twice, and I had one good experience and one not so good experience. So I'm excited to give this a full week. So that's it for Makeup Bag Monday this week. Sorry that was so long. I picked way too many products next week. I'm gonna try to keep it a little less products next week so the review is not so long. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give it a thumbs up. Go check out my Instagram at @TheBeautyRookie and let me know what you think about this series, and if you're participating too, I would love to hear your thoughts. And let me know if you're planning on picking up any of these things, if I swayed you one way or another, and if you're excited about next week's Makeup Bag Monday. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I'll see you guys Thursday on my next video. Bye guys.